Hello, baseball fans, and welcome. Interleague Baseball on MLB The Show. It's the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Baltimore Orioles. And we'll be back with the first pitch right after this. So just about set now. Starting on the mound in this one, Dean Kremer.
Yeah, he's definitely had a struggle so far this year, as evidenced by that inflated whip, but he's going to have to find a way to limit the base runners, put his team in a position to win a ball game. So we know he's prepared. We know this guy's a competitor, and we'll watch how he works in this one.
Trey Turner in the box here lets that one go for a ball.
First pitch, 7:06.
Out in front with the swing, and that is strike one.
This guy's got such a good sinker. As a hitter, you've got to look up in the zone. If you look down, you're going to be chasing stuff in the dirt.
On the ground to third. Sends it across to first. And a quick out, number one. And time now for the Phillies lineup. And a big factor for them in recent games, JT Realmuto.
He's been a solid force for his team right now, kind of a fire starter when you consider an on-base percentage over 400 over the last 10 games. That's solid, consistent work. He's making things happen for this offense right now.
Brandon Marsh in the box now. No balls and a strike. Kremer measures 6 feet 2 inches, 30 years old now, a former American League Cy Young Award winner. Next offering is in for a strike.
Well, he didn't like those first 2 pitches. Now in an 0-2 hole. He's going to have to battle. Hope he gets a mistake.
That one missed.
2 strikes.
And that's a little bit high. 2-2.
Looks like he thinks that should have been a strike at the top of the zone, but doesn't seem to be too upset. That's just a case where I think he's trying to get a better feel for the umpire's strike zone and what he's going to be calling. That's just a part of pitching.
That one ripped. And it stays fair. Around first, heading for 2. And that's a 2-bagger.
He went up there and got it with 2 strikes. I'm not going to leave this in the umpire's hands. I'm going to be aggressive. It was in a location where you could get those arms extended that he loves to do. So nice job right there coming back in that at bat.
Man at second with 1 away. Here's Bryce Harper. That one finds the zone. 0-1. Man at second. Foul ball, still 0-2. Slice the other way. That's a base hit. Rounds third, headed for the plate. And they strike first as they take a 1-0 lead.
Puts a run on the board and picks up an RBI. Really good swing right there. You got a pitch that he knew he could handle, allowed himself to stay back just a tad bit longer, and he hit the ball on the screws.
Runner on at first with 1 gone. Nick Castellanos at the plate now. Swings through that one.
0-1's the count.
The 0-1. And ball 1. Man at first, 1 away. Next offering upstairs.
Way to lay off that fastball up right there. You're looking for something you see well that you can handle, but you also have to keep the discipline so that you're not popping up pitches that are just a little too high.
Kicks and fires. Wouldn't chase that time.
First pitch strike from the pitcher, but then no panic at all by the hitter. Very patient, showing good discipline. Now he's in the driver's seat with the 3-1 count.
And the right-hander deals.
And boy, that was the pitch. 3-1. You want to be really aggressive on the fastball.
Harper at first, one gone. This one in the air. Holiday under this one. Makes the grab, and there's two gone.
Well, that was a pitch you got to crush. Unbelievable that he missed it right there. And I'm telling you, he is going to be frustrated with himself until his next at bat.
This is Bryson's stop. And that's down and away. The 1-1. And another ball.
Well, they're really running up the pitch count in this first inning. Lots of confidence from this team that is perhaps the hottest in baseball right now.
2 outs. Not close with that one. And now 3 balls and a strike. That clips the corner.
3-2, 2 out, runner on first. A lot of movement in the infield. Hitters got to stay focused on the pitch.
Fouled off again, and it remains 3-2. 1 run across in the frame so far here in the second game of the series. And a foul ball, he stays alive. Here comes a pitch. And that's ball 4. It wasn't easy, but he earned that walk after a long at-bat.
Well, that's a nice job of grinding out that at-bat. Saw a lot of pitches and ends up drawing the walk. Very gritty.
So 2 on with 2 away. And now it's Alec Bohm. And he chases a high fastball there.
It's great to get on the board in the first frame of the ball game, but here's an opportunity for them to really open things up with a couple of runners on. Let's see if they can cash in.
0-1. Left field, and it's just foul. Traffic on the bases with 1 already in, and we're just getting started here in the top of the first. That's down and in.
Really good take, especially with 2 strikes.
Just missed.
He's really tightening up his hitting zone with 2 strikes here. I love it.
Two on, 2 outs. In the air, right field. And that'll fall for a base hit. The throw in, but it's offline. Runner holds at third, so just 1 across on the play.
Comes through with the RBI. With the way defenders track down balls these days, I mean, both from the infield and in the outfield, there really aren't a lot of base hits on balls hit like that. But there's always a little room back behind the first and second baseman to drop a long dart in there, and he found a way.
The batter now, Jorge Polanco.
It's been a tough stretch for him at the plate. Just 1 hit in his last 5 games.
Fouled off. He was late. fouls one off out of play back to our left. Ball one there.
Well, he's so great about hitting the ball the other way. He gets those arms extended. So right there, just trying to straighten him up a little bit so he doesn't have as much outside plate coverage.
Makes the play, and it's out number 3. But 2 runs for him, and they jump ahead. Bottom half of inning number 1 coming up. It's the Phillies 2 and the Orioles nothing. Back now at Oriole Park. And towing the slab, Zach Gallen. Singy, he's kind of a road warrior, yeah?
I definitely say so. You know, some guys shrink a little bit on the road. They're so used to just having the comforts of being at home and having the fans behind them. But this guy seems to thrive in adversity and being in some hostile environments. So when you have a player like this on your team that goes out there and competes, you definitely like your chances away from your home ballpark.
Cedric Mullins stands in now and watches strike 1. Swings and misses, and it's 0-2.
It's amazing to look up and see 88 miles per hour on that changeup. Back in the day, that was a pretty good fastball, but with high velocities these days, that speed differential is right where it needs to be.
Down to the dirt, swing and a miss. Gets him. One away on a drop third strike.
Well, I don't think there's a hitter alive that hasn't at some point succumbed to that pitch right there. It just looks like it's in the zone the entire way, and then the top spin and gravity take over in the blink of an eye, and it's just such a tough pitch to lay off of.
Matt Vierling, the next to hit for the Orioles. That one lifted to left. Marsh makes the grab, and there's 2 away. Time now to take a look at the Orioles lineup put together by manager Brandon Hyde. One guy swinging a hot bat recently, Cedric Mullins.
Well, Boog, he's a guy to watch because he capitalizes on the big situations as well as anyone. Hitting over 350 with runners in scoring position, and you know what that means? That means he's a key player for this offense because he can really drive them in when the team needs him the most. He's been clutch all year.
Adley Rutschman, the next to hit, takes ball 1. Two down, nobody on. Right through there for a strike. And that one is lifted in the air. Sizing this one up. Makes the grab, and that's the inning. And welcome back to the ballpark. Digging in, JT Realmuto. It's interesting, he plays kind of a power spot defensively, but runs pretty well. So when you're looking at that position, you're not expecting someone that has maybe above average speed, but he does. Oh, and 2 now as he swings through it.
And I think that skill set really upgrades the position because when you have that kind of speed, it makes the whole team that much better.
That one to first, and he takes it himself for the out.
Batting 9, the center fielder, Johan Rojas.
And here is Johan Rojas. We talk about guys with good speed, and definitely he has it. But pushing the offense aside for just a second, Chris, it's the defensive side that I think the speed factors in the most. One down, base is empty. Sharp grounder, that's through for a base hit.
Love how he let that ball travel, trusted his hands. Nice job of going the other way.
So the lineup flips over. Trey Turner now. He's 0 for 1. First pitch misses. The pitch.
2-0.
And a pitch out, but no steal, and it's ball 2. Darryl Parker assigned to umpiring duty behind home plate.
And Boog, with DP, it's sort of a coin flip on those borderline corner pitches. Doesn't really favor one side of the plate more than the other. Sometimes you get a little extra the plate, and sometimes you won't. It does seem like he evens it out over the course of a game, though.
That one's spoiled, and the count now 2-1. And another ball.
If it were an average catcher behind the plate, I'd say take second base, but this isn't a catcher you want to run on. His quick release is unreal.
Kremer over to first. Rojas dives back in safely. Rojas leads off first with 1 away. So Turner reaches base. And this is a guy with good speed.
Now batting.
Brandon Marsh steps to the plate. Doubled his first time up. Siggy, he's got a history of coming through in the big spots. I know I like to talk about, I'm not sure whether clutch actually exists, but you look at the numbers, and this guy always seems to deliver in those spots.
0-1's the count.
Well, I think it's the ability to assess the situation, understanding what the pitcher has, what he's trying to get people out on, and then being able to use the entire field.
2 on, 1 out. And there's a ball.
If you're a guy that can only hit to one field, then you're really not going to be able to come through in clutch situations because pitchers are going to adjust. But because he's able to use the entire field, that's why he's so successful in these situations.
This to third. Could be extra bases. Headed for the plate. And that rolls into the corner. 1 run is in. Another scores. 2 runs in on the play. And they lead by 4. Not in time. He's safe.
Gets the job done as he brings home a pair. Punched that ball down the opposite field line. Just barely able to keep it fair. But once it dropped in, he was off and racing for the triple.
Cade Povich gets the ball now.
And one thing on him, he's been really good this season at keeping the ball in the park. Not an easy guy to take deep.
Number 76, Cade Povich.
Here's Harper now. 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored so far. And first offering is fouled off. When you played, did you play with guys that you thought were clutch, and sort of what were the attributes you said that's what he possesses that allows him to come through?
Well, we always used to joke, guys want to eat steak, and there were some that just had a knack, could understand that, all right, this is a big, payout if I can come through with a knock here. But I think when you really look at the numbers, you really audit everything, guys kind of are who they are.
And a pitch. Now one missed.
We got 2 balls,
Runner on at
1
third,
strike.
1 gone. He swings and drives one out to deep left field. Dearland going back, and it hits the fence. In comes the run from third. It's 5-0.
There he is coming through with a knock right there. I like the fact that he can pick him up and put him down a little bit. First basemen aren't known for the speed, but see him get that extra base hit there. Now he's in scoring position.
Here's Nicholas Castellanos. He's 0 for 1. In there for a strike at the bottom of the zone. One of the things that Jim Leland used to say when I was broadcasting with the Marlins, the longer a plate appearance goes for a batter, the more likely it is that something good will happen for the hitter. Man at second.
Ball.
Povich picks over. Harper's back on a dive. Gets him to chase after that one. Already 3 runs across in the frame here at the top of the second. That one down the line and foul ball. Lined, and that's a base hit. Here comes Harper around third. The throw in, it's offline. The run comes in.
Well, he wasn't afraid to hit with 2 strikes. I think he choked up a little bit, maybe spread out, but he got the job done right there.
Man at first, and digging in for Philadelphia, Bryson Stott. Grips one to right. Rosario hauls it in, and there's 2 away.
Now batting, third baseman, Alec Bohm.
Now the third baseman, Alec Bohm. Singled and drove in a run his first time through. And ball 1. Holiday fires over to first. That'll end the inning after a lot of scoring. So 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and a runner left on. We go to the bottom of inning number 2. It's the Phillies 6 and the Orioles nothing. Back here in Baltimore, bottom half of inning number 2. Here's the Oriole cleanup hitter, Gunnar Henderson. Gallant back to work.
Clearly down in this ball game, and you can't look at the deficit and try to get it all back in one swing. It's got to come one at bat at a time, and even shrink it down smaller, pitch to pitch. Make that guy on the mound work to get you out.
Swing and a miss, and the count 1-1. One of the things amazing with Zach, think about the players he's been traded with and for. In December of 17, he and Sandy Alcantara were dealt to Miami from the Cardinals for Marcell Ozuna. Then ultimately in July of 19, he went to Arizona for Jazz Chisholm. And there's a ball. High fly ball lifted in the air right field. Castellanos gets under it. Puts it away for the out.
Maybe caught that one off the end just a little bit. Couldn't quite barrel it up enough to really drive it.
The first baseman.
Here's Ryan Mountcastle.
Mountcastle.
First offering, and it just misses.
I can't play around with him here. It's a 6-run lead at this point. Got to attack hitters, even if you give up a solo shot.
And another ball. The Phillies up big in this one. Bottom half of inning number 2. Wouldn't chase that time.
3-0.
And it's ball 4. He missed down low.
It's tough after falling behind a hitter, 2 balls and no strikes, but now at least he gets a fresh start against a new batter. But he needs to get back into the strike zone and start pitching with conviction.
Eddie Rosario in the box with 1 away as he takes ball 1. Can't find it here. That's 6 straight balls.
No strike.
Mountcastle leads off first with 1 away. And that misses as well. And he walked
That pitch
him.
is up. Ball 4.
He's making things difficult for himself right now out there on the mound, but you know, his confidence should still be high enough to get out of this, but he's going to have to buckle down right here.
Next to hit, Jackson Holliday. That's in there. It's 0-1. And the pitch. That's a little bit low.
You know, he can move the ball around, add and subtract, get some weak contact at times. So you don't worry as much about him in this situation. Very capable of getting a ground ball and getting out of this little jam.
And there's a strike on the outside corner. 1 out. Runners at first and second. In the air, out towards left center. Sizes this one up. He's got it.
Batting 8, the designated hitter, Colton Cowser.
Now it's going to be Colton Cowser. He's already set a new career best for stolen bases in a season, Chris. That one finds the zone. Strike 1. 2 outs. Couple of base runners at first and second. And the pitch. Outside.
Recognize that changeup right out of the hand. Just spit on it.
Left-hand hitter waits. And they'll do it again. Left-hand batter waits. Foul ball, still a 1-2 count. First and second, 2 down. Got him looking, and he did not like the call. Orioles strand a couple. Still up against a 6-0 deficit. On to the third inning, and now Jorge Polanco.
Jorge Polanco.
As he turns on the rubber, and with that good live arm delivers. And there's the strike. And a foul ball. The 0-2. That one just misses. That's off the mark, and that's ball 2.
He's trying to stay down in the zone, but the hitter just will not chase. Now back in a 2-2 count, he's going to have to go to something else to get him out.
Struck him out looking. He's got to be frustrated with that call.
Wow, that's a tough call for the hitter, but the pitcher will take that all day long. Not quite in the strike zone, but he found a spot that the umpire is going to, at least for now, allow him to get that call. So hitters are going to have to make an adjustment, but pitchers are going to learn from those things and really try to exploit them if they can.
And up to the plate is JT Realmuto. One out, bases empty. Well, Siggy here in Baltimore, and crab cakes. We need to get our hands on some crab cakes. You think we'll get someone to maybe run down for us and grab a few?
Absolutely, it's got to happen. Maryland crab cakes, the best. And you talk about the seasoning.
Outside.
Nobody does it better than the people here in the city of Baltimore, but even so here at the ballpark, some great food.
Up the middle, Henderson. The throw to first. 2 up, 2 down. Yeah, and I'm kind of partial to my guy Boog down there over that right field wall and some barbecue, because Boog can fire up some pretty good barbecue.
Yeah, and I'm surprised we haven't seen any of that yet up here in the booth. Come on, man, let's go.
Line drive, makes the catch, inning over. Down quickly go the Phillies. They lead it though 6-0. Bottom of the inning.
Leading
Here's
off
the third baseman,
for the Orioles,
Davis Wenzel.
The third baseman, Davis Wenzel.
The wind of the pitch. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Chased it out of the zone.
0-2.
And that just misses. The wind and the pitch. Just outside. And it's 2-2.
Caught a break right there. Pretty good pitch on the outside corner.
Righty to the plate. Spoils that one, and it remains 2-2. Gets a piece and stays alive. And he deals. Ground ball left side. So they get the out after a long battle at the plate. So back to the top of the Orioles lineup. Cedric Mullins, the next to hit for the Orioles. 0 for 1 so far. That one clips the outside corner. 0-1. Ball one there.
1-1.
One down, base is empty.
2.
Good eye in that spot. The Orioles with a lot of ground to make up here in the last half of the third. And that skips in the dirt.
Still just the second batter of the inning, and on the mound he's already thrown 13 pitches. They got him working hard out there.
Three-2 now. Caught him looking for the K.
Well, just couldn't pull the trigger on the fastball right there, and I don't think he was taking it, thinking it might be a called ball or anything. I just think he was flat out frozen. Did not expect that location, in my opinion.
Veerling stands in now, looks at that one inside.
Instead of letting the hitter get his arms extended, tied him up a little bit, slightly up, slightly in.
That's inside. 2 out, space is empty. Next offering upstairs. Adley Rutschman to bat next. And the 3-1. And a foul ball. Swing, and he breaks his bat. Harper grabs it on the run. One, two, three, go the Orioles. They still find themselves down 6-0. All set for the start of the inning. So digging in now for Philadelphia, Trey Turner. Povich back to work. And that is in for a strike. 0-1. Chris, you played here in 2002. What are the memories that stand out as to being a member of the Baltimore Orioles?
For me, it was just pulling into the parking lot and having those that were there with an encouraging smile or a pat on the back, regardless of how things were going. It made it a lot easier to come to the ballpark, whether you were doing well or you were struggling. And then the way that they treated your family. I mean, this is a great place to play, and I'd say it's got to be one of the.
Now this is in the air down the line, and it jumps the wall in foul territory for an automatic double.
This lefty matchup thing's not going so well.
Right.
And you had a cameo in the movie Moneyball as an Orioles player in a highlight clip. And now here is Harper. First pitch, and he just misses. Povich checks the runner. Marsh dives and can't get back in time. He's picked off.
It's so rare that the pitcher is able to be that quick and make an accurate throw to second base. It's just not a normal thing for him to do, but does a really nice job there of getting it to that middle infielder and the tag being put on the runner. Nice pickoff right there.
Inside corner, and that's called a strike. 2 outs. That one misses. The count now 2-2.
And that's awfully close. I don't know how you take that. He's seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hand really well right now.
Cuts on it and misses. That's a strikeout. Rutschman fires over to first. That ends the frame. And we're back, ready to go for the last half of the inning. Here's Adley Rutschman. Rutschman measures 6 feet 2 inches, 28 years old, and he was selected to the All-Star game last year. That smash towards center. Rutschman retired, and there's one down.
The batter, number 2, shortstop.
So now it's the 4-hole hitter, Gunnar Henderson. Flied to right his first time. He swings and fouls one off. The Orioles still looking for their first hit in this one. Back to the mound. He's got it. Gathers and throws to first. And a couple of quick outs.
The first baseman, Ryan.
2 outs, base is empty. And here's the first baseman, Ryan Mountcastle. Popped up to the left, into foul ground. Boom. Drifts towards it. Brings it in. And that is that. Back now at Oriole
Leading off
Park.
for the Phillies,
Now it's the right fielder,
fielder,
Nick
number
Castellanos.
Nick Castellanos.
The pitch. There's a strike.
Well, these Phillies putting together some really good at-bats in this game. There's been a lot to like with how they're approaching their chances at the plate. It looked to me like they really wanted to get to the starter early, get him out of the game before he settles in. So I'd say mission accomplished.
Here's the 0-2. And that's in the dirt.
2 strikes.
The other way, and that's just foul. Kicks and deals. That misses the zone, and the count is 2-2. To third, slides for the stop, fires to first, and that's a great play for the out.
Well, Boog, as an infielder, you have to be ready for anything. In that spot, it required going to the ground, getting a little dirty, and making a strong throw for the out. Great play.
Bryson Stott digs in now. That one finds the zone. Strike 1. Base is empty, 1 away, and we're at the top of the 5th. And that one cutting but missing down low. Line drive, calls it in, 2 away.
It's never fun going back to the dugout after hitting a line drive that finds a glove, but you will get some high fives. You know, when you make great contact, you feel like you've done everything right. But in this game of baseball, not everything is in your control.
On the ground to third. Whips it to Mountcastle, and the Phillies are set down in order. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left. Home half of the 5th coming up. It's the Phillies 6 and the Orioles nothing. And welcome back to the ballpark. John Shammy with my buddy Chris Singleton. It's set to get us started. Bottom 5. Eddie Rosario. The pitch. Swinging a foul back. That's out of play.
You know, these Orioles just haven't produced as many competitive at-bats as I'd like to see in this one. They really haven't worked many deep counts or long at-bats, and that's fine if you're having a lot of success. But at this point, I think it's time to make an adjustment. They just threw that fastball by him, elevated, and if you're not looking up in that location, very difficult to catch up to, especially with that velocity.
That one a little bit high, and that's ball 1. Righty delivers. Knocks that one away, and we'll do it again.
Well, you can't really adjust your game plan for that last pitch. Guy hasn't thrown it very much. You got to focus on the stuff that he's throwing up there most of the time.
That one way inside. Swing and a miss. Got him to go up the ladder for the K.
Thought it was a pretty good pitch. Top of the strike zone. We're seeing more fastballs in that location. Hitters, especially with 2 strikes, have to be ready to pull the trigger.
Holiday batting for the 2nd time, and that's strike 1. Lifted in the air down the left side, and it drops in. So they get a man aboard with a 1-out single.
Now batting,
So digging in, Colton Cowser. Caught looking his first time up.
Taken high in the draft, he's had that top prospect labeled over him since he put on a professional uniform. But at some point, that starts to go away, and you've got to produce at the big league level.
And he takes a strike. That's in there, and it's 0-2.
If he doesn't get a knock right here, that pitch he just took is going to eat at him for a while. You might not see another pitch like that from a top-level guy like this.
Kicks and fires.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Fights that one away, still 1-2. And a pitch. And that skips in the dirt. That missed by a lot. 3-2 now. Holiday, the base runner at first with 1 out. Clobbered to right field, way back, gone. Home run number 5 on the season. It's 6-2.
Those are the at-bats that leave pitchers exhausted. He had to throw a lot of pitches and still gave up the long ball. That's a bad combo. He's so good at getting his arms extended, and that's exactly what he did right there. You don't typically want to pull a pitch in that part of the plate, but he doesn't allow his wrist to roll over, stays through the ball, gets the loft, and gets the home run.
And it's fouled away. One down, base is empty. And that's downstairs and outside. Double-barreled action in the bullpen. Ryan Yarbrough appears to be getting loose. Curtis warming up as well. There's a strike at the knees. Got it by him for the K.
That cutter right there had just enough movement on it to get the swing and miss. It wasn't a great location by any means. That's typically a spot that hitters can handle, so I'd say he fooled him with just enough of that late action.
Mullins stands in with 2 away as he takes a ball. And it goes just foul. 2 runs across in the inning. Last half of inning number 5. And another ball. Fly ball to right. Castellanos gets under it. And puts the squeeze on that one. And that is that. But 2 come across to score in the inning, courtesy of this 2-run homer. Now a 6-2 ball game. Back after this on the show. Back here in Baltimore, and now Jorge Polanco.
Jorge Polanco.
As the lefty gets to work. Strike on the inside corner. Next offering in there for a strike. And the count is 0-2. The lefty fires. Pitch in the dirt. And the count 1-2. On the ground to the left. Zips it across. Now one gone in the top of the 6th.
Now batting.
That's what a good sinker's designed to do. Get a guy to roll over a little bit, hit the ball on the ground, kill some worms while you're at it.
JT Realmuto steps in, known for his rocket arm behind the plate. Now one missed. And another ball.
When you get ahead in the count, there's no doubt that the success rate goes up, and that's what he's been doing. It's made a big impact for him in recent games.
That's down and in. Base is empty, one away, and we're in the top half of the 6th. Next offering is in for a strike. One down, base is empty. Goes down looking.
This guy will throw any pitch in any count. 3-2. He goes off speed, gets the out.
The center fielder, Johan Rojas.
Johan Rojas stands in for the Phillies. There's a strike. Two down, nobody on. Here in the 2nd game of the series. On the ground, right side. Whips it to Mountcastle, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Offense held in check there. 2-3-4 due up in the home half of the 6th. It's the Phillies 6 and the Orioles 2. Well, we go bottom 6 and into the box for Baltimore. Matt Vierling.
Matt Vierling.
And the right-hander back to work. That one finds the zone. It's 0-1.
Well, he's been incredibly efficient in this one. First pitch strike percentage over 70%. That's well above league average, and that's what's allowed him to pitch well up until this point.
And the right-hander deals. That just misses, and it's 1-2. And that's in the dirt. That one hit to right. One up, one down.
Now batting, the catcher, Adley.
And now the switch hitting catcher, Adley Rutschman. First pitch doesn't find the zone. The Orioles down by 4 here in the bottom of the 6th. Next offering upstairs. Right-hander kicks, deals. And that's through there for a strike. In for a strike. It's 2-2. And the righty deals. Foul ball, another 2-2 upcoming. The pitch. Hacks and misses. It's a strikeout.
Well, that high four-seam fastball, it's become such a staple as a strikeout pitch over the years. And what's so tough as a hitter is that you see it extremely well. The problem is the velocity and spin rate just happens to jump by you. You expand your zone, you don't stay tall on the backside, and you're really not even able to make contact. If you do, many times it's a pop-up.
Ryan Yarbrough gets the call from the pen.
And as relievers go, he's not a big strikeout guy. He tries to force weak contact, so command and execution are huge for him.
And now the shortstop, Gunnar Henderson. There you see his May and June numbers so far. And first offering is fouled off. And now the lefty in there at the knees for a strike. Two down, nobody on. Gets a piece there. We'll do it again. And the 0-2. Fights it off. He'll see another. Good battle here. About to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. The shortstop takes the ball. Now a high fly ball out to left center. Rojas pulls that one down, and that's the 3rd out. They turn things over to the southpaw, Chris Sale.
Well, he's been a bit of a wild card out there in terms of throwing strikes. He's definitely struggled with free passes this year.
Back to the top of the lineup. Here's Trey Turner.
With this kind of lead, he can swing freely, try to hit the ball out of the park, do what he loves to do.
The wind of the pitch. That one finds the zone. That's strike one. Sale, multi-time All-Star, more than 100 career wins on the mound. He joined the team as a free agent. On the ground, out to short. Tosses to first, and the leadoff hitter set down to open the 7th.
Well, we talk about how the ball is coming out of a pitcher's hand. The way it comes out of his hand as an infielder, wow, really impressive.
Brandon Marsh getting ready to hit. There's a strike. Action in the pen down there. Mark Leiter Jr. preparing to come on if needed. Bauman also throwing. Bounce to third. And it gets by him.
Just a simple ground ball the other way. They had eyes on it, man. Sometimes that's all you need to do. Just let the ball travel, put the ball in play, and just hope it finds a hole.
Man at first with one gone. Bryce Harper stands in for the Phillies. Sale checks over to first, and he's back. Ball one to Bryce. Sale ready. And there's a ball. Marsh, the runner at first with one gone in the inning. Runner takes off. Pitch outside. Throw safe.
Pretty close play on that one. A perfect throw probably gets him. That throw is just a little wide to the third base side of the bag, so he had to reach a little bit to get it. Could have been just enough to make the difference there.
Let's see if he gives him anything to hit here. In for a strike, and it's 3-1. Man at second. Now front, pulls that one foul. Now it's 3-2. Line drive, and that should be extra bases. Runner from second crosses the plate. It's 7-2. It's a double. Third hit of the night for him.
Well done. Drives in the run. Loud contact leads to the double. I mean, you could tell it had extra bases written all over it as it jumped off of his stick.
New pitcher on now, Mike Baumann. And he'll feature a hard slider to work off his fastball.
Baumann.
One out, runner at second. Now here is Nick Castellanos. 1 for 3. Ripped on a line. Vierling settles under it and makes the catch. 2 down.
The batter, number 5, second baseman,
Bryson Stott now at the plate. That catches the zone for a strike, and it's 0-1. And that clips the inside corner.
Perhaps not quite ready to hit. First 2 pitches by him for a couple of strikes. Now back is against the wall. He's going to have to figure something out and figure it out quickly.
And down on strikes. Good job at damage control right there. Bryce Harper with the run-scoring double for the Phillies. It's now a 7-2 ball game. It's Major League Baseball, and it's on the show. Back now at Oriole Park, bottom of the 7th, and into the box for Baltimore, Ryan Mountcastle. And a pitch. Fought off foul. Yarborough, he's got some good and some bad. The positive is he doesn't walk very many guys, but Chris, the problem is that he is prone to giving up some homers. Fights that one away, and the count remains 0-2. The wide to kick the pitch.
That's a ball.
On a line, base hit. So a runner aboard to start the inning.
Now, a manager can see it pretty early just by the swings that players are taking, whether they're fouling the ball back, if they're on time, the front foot is down. When you see that, probably don't want to leave him in too long.
Here's Eddie Rosario. And the pitch is outside, ball 1. Oh, he doesn't get the call, and it's 2-0.
If you're going to get something going, this is the time to do it. You get the leadoff man on. Everybody's got to look over the shoulder and say, I'm just going to keep the line moving. Don't try to do too much.
Here comes a pitch. And that one cutting but missing down low.
1 strike.
Runner at first with no outs here. Double play ball to second. Stop. Off balance feed. There's one. Over to first, but he beats it.
Tough play right there. Didn't really have enough time to set his feet and make a strong, accurate throw. Had to rush it, but he got it off, and he got it there in time to get that out at second base.
Now it's the second baseman, Jackson Holliday. 1 for 2. On the ground left side. 6, 4.
Out.
3. It's a double play, and that'll do it for the inning. Starting to run out of outs as they're unable to chip away. We look ahead to inning number 8. It's the Phillies 7 and the Orioles 2. So out of the pen comes the right-hander, Yennier Cano.
I think it's got to be a little tough coming in out of the pen when your guys are trailing so big on the scoreboard. Just doesn't have the same intensity to it, but he's got to find a way because these batters count the same for his stats, obviously, regardless of the score.
So digging in, Alec Bohm, a former first-round pick, and he's really turned into a nice everyday player. That one's in there. 0-1.
0-1.
And ball 1.
That one called just inside, I think, and on the mound, he's trying to get a little bit of an explanation. Doesn't seem to be too bothered by it, though, but he clearly thought it clipped the corner.
The pitch. Bounce to the left side. And foul ball. The 1-2. Strike 3. Got him looking on the changeup. And now Jorge Polanco. 0 for 3. A fly out, a ground out, and a strikeout. And that one's a little bit low. 1-0. Activity in the bullpen for Baltimore. Mark Leiter Jr. up and throwing. Webb also getting ready. Next offering is in for a strike.
1-1.
Base is empty, 1 away, and we're at the top of the 8th. One down, base is empty. And downstairs. And a pitch. Still 2-2 after the foul ball. And here it comes. Fouls it back with 2 strikes. Swings through it, and that's a strikeout.
Very strong coming out of the pen so far as he punches out the first 2 batters he's faced in this one, getting straight to work. Man, it's talked about a lot, but relievers are just so electric these days. These aren't fun at bats if you're a hitter. I'm so glad I'm retired.
Real Muto now at the plate as he swings through strike one.
Well, he threw that fastball right by him, gives him a little bit of confidence, but in the back of your mind, you got to think, is he trying to set me up for later in this at bat?
Flashes the leather on the running catch. And that is that. Phillies go down quietly in the inning, but they're still on top 7-2. Back now, new pitcher on the mound as we roll into the bottom of the 8th, John Curtis.
And you know, bullpen guys can struggle sometimes when they're called upon with big leads because it just doesn't have the same intensity as a tight game. So we'll see how sharp he is. Your mental toughness matters in situations like this as well.
Now here's the Orioles DH, Colton Cowser. He's already homered here in this one. And the pitch. And that one just missed off the outside edge. And that gets the top of the zone for a strike.
In this situation, you expect the batters to be a little more patient, possibly take until they get a strike. With that, you don't want to miss your opportunity to get ahead early in the count. He didn't right there.
Fouls it off, still 1-2. Up the middle, Turner tosses to first, barely got him for the out. Close play.
Now batting, third baseman, Davis Wenzel.
So up next, Davis Wenzel. That one finds the zone. Strike one. Movement in the bullpen. Michael Rucker up and loosening in the pen. The Phils leading by 5 here, the bottom half of the 8th inning. That misses the zone, and that's ball 1.
That two-seam fastball is usually coupled with a slider away, and when a hitter's conscious of the pitch in, it's hard for him to cover middle away, and that's where a pitcher can really finish off that batter.
Wouldn't chase that time.
Pretty easy to give up on that pitch right there. Started on the edge of the plate with the spin. You know it's going to finish well off the plate.
Got the bat going too soon, and strike 2. And another ball. Swing and a high fly ball left field. Marsh moves under it. And there's 2 away.
Just pulled off of it a little bit right there. That front shoulder coming open instead of staying closed. If he does that, he's going to be able to go up the middle the other way with some authority instead of a fly out to left.
And that one fouled off. 2 down, nobody on here in the second game of the series. And it's 1-1.
1-0.
Two outs. Foul ball. 1-2 now. Spoils the 2-strike pitch, and he'll see another. Here's a 1-2. Got him swinging. Nothing doing this time around for the O's. They're down 5. It's 7-2. We're back. It's the top of the ninth, and there's a new pitcher on the mound, Mark Leiter Jr.
And compared to a lot of other relievers, strikeouts have not been a big weapon for him this year, so the defense should be active.
Johan Rojas digs in now.
The center fielder.
I think when you contemplate him as a player, the first thing you think about is defense, and you think about that great arm.
I also think about the speed. If he can get on, that's going to give one more thing for that pitcher to think about.
Yoan. That one fouled off. And that's in the dirt. Ball one. There's the splitter in the dirt. Swing and a miss. In time to get him. One away in the strikeout.
That's about as nasty of a splitter as you'll come across, especially in terms of movement. I mean, that thing tumbles out of his hand and just drops off the table at the last moment. If he keeps it down, it's just so tough to put wood on.
Trey Turner at the plate. And that one just misses. A ball and no strikes. One down, base is empty. That's through there for a strike. Movement in the Orioles bullpen. Ryan Baker getting loose out there. Right-handed reliever. That one misses, and it's 2-1. Comes up empty. That's strike two. Swings and misses. Couldn't catch up to the heater. Brandon Marsh stands in for the Phillies. He's got a single, a double, and a triple in this game. A home run gets him the cycle. To the right side, Holiday. Slings to first, and the inning is over. So they make short work of him there. 2-3-4 set to hit in the bottom of the ninth. It's the Phillies 7 and the Orioles 2. Back now as they hand the ball to a fresh arm to start the bottom of the ninth, Michael Rucker.
Well, he's been a really tough guy to take deep this season. You usually have to string some hits together in order to get to him.
And into the box for Baltimore, Matt Vierling.
The left fielder, Matt Vierling.
The pitch. Fastball for a strike.
0-1.
Right through there for a strike.
Dangerous spot for that slider right there. Didn't seem to quite finish out front and get that sharp break. Tell you what, he doesn't want to throw that pitch again.
Righty to the plate. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Couldn't hit the fastball at the knees.
Well, we saw a solid effort out of their starter, and the bullpen is following suit. It's just a good day as a manager or as a pitching coach when you can hand the ball off to multiple arms and get stability from all of their performances.
In the air, left side, Marsh sizing this one up. He's got it, and there's two away.
Hey, man, 4 pitches, 2 outs. That is an excellent pace.
The Orioles. The shortstop.
Orioles down to their final out. So next to hit for Baltimore, Gunnar Henderson. 0 for 3 with 2 flyouts and a ground out. Clobbered to right field, way back, gone. He nails one out to right. It's 7-3. He absolutely feasts on right-handed pitching and devours that one for a homer.
And you can see that's what he expects of himself at bat after at bat. He's that confident. Well, he went up there 0-0 looking to do damage. I think he had his sights set on that pitch. He went and got it and circled the bases.
Orioles an out away. And now the first baseman, Ryan Mountcastle. And there's a foul ball. The next pitch misses, and the count even 1-1. 2 down, bases empty, but 1 run across here in the last half of inning number 9. This could end it. And another ball.
That turns out to be a really good take right there, but you don't want to end this game with the bat on your shoulder.
Two down, nobody on.
The guy at the plate could recognize slider out of the hand. Didn't stay in the tunnel very long in terms of depth and perception. He knew right away it was an off-speed pitch.
And that one is lifted in the air. And he's got it. Ball game. And the Phillies even this series up at a game apiece.
Sometimes road trips can be tough. You're away from your family, but when you can win, silence that opposing crowd, it makes things just a little bit better, makes the road trip just a little bit shorter.
7-3 is how this one ends. For Chris Singleton and our entire crew, I'm John Shambi saying so long.
Our final line score tonight. First for the victorious Philadelphia Phillies, 7 runs on 10 hits. No errors. They left 4 runners on base. For the Orioles, 3 runs, 4 hits. No errors. They left 3 runners on base. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 11 minutes. Tonight's paid attendance at the ballpark, 45,971. The Orioles would like to thank you for attending tonight's ball game and remind you to please drive home safely.